James Robinson showed ETN how to score.
Eric and I have to say 3 nice things about the Jaguars heading into week 2.
When Andy told me this, it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done on this podcast, especially after that game. I sat there and watched 4 quarters of this game, and I tried to think 3 positive things I could say about this team. I ended up getting to 5.
All right, coming after losing to the Commanders and getting ready to face the Colts, a nice thing I have to say about the Jags heading into week 2 versus the Colts following a Commanders loss is that we have, shockingly, 2 what looks like very healthy running backs. Travis Etienne looked like the fastest running back the Jags have ever had. Just the explosiveness that he is able to show coming around the edge and up the middle, like running away from defensive linemen that usually would catch a slower running back. It's nice to see. And then James Robinson scoring 2 touchdowns, averaging 6.2 yards per carry. That was awesome. I think Travis averaged like 7 yards per carry. There's so much excitement with our running backs. I was anxious, like, how are we going to get both of them on the field? How are we going to get both of them like the appropriate amount of touches? And I think they're going to work on that going forward. But it's exciting to have 2 running backs, no matter who's in. We're going to probably get at least 5 yards per carry.
My first positive thing about the Jaguars, I'm going to have to say Trayvon Walker was the pick.
He was the pick.
He was the pick. After all of that pre-draft commentary about bulky finding guys with ability but unproven, I was like, sure, whatever. I wasn't big on Aiden Hutchinson in the draft. After we drafted Trayvon Walker, seeing him in training camp being as big as he was, I was like, all right, I'm sold. Just need to see him on the field now. Preseason, got more hype about him when he made that first play in the preseason game. And then him coming out here doing TJ Watt-esque things in his first game, just going to need more of that energy. And looking at the defense on the sideline, like, I know they gave up a lot of fucking yardage to the receivers, but them boys were all in. I like to watch the players when they come off the field on the sideline and talk to each other. Josh Allen's out there, Foyer's out there. Trayvon's a quiet guy. He was sad. Trayvon Walker wants to fucking win. Like, we need guys like that on the team.
The tears dry up eventually and you get used to being on the Jags.
I don't know if he will. He came from Georgia, and he won the national championship against Bama. So I think he's got that different dog, pun intended, mentality. So I'm saying Trayvon Walker's the pick, and I'm excited to see what he can do against Matt Ryan next week.
Did you guys see his post-game press conference?
Oh, I was just about to play that. He was asked about his performance, and here's what he said.
Like getting a sack and an interception yourself, how motivating is that for you kind of moving forward to sort of be able to get over the hump and be able to, help your team win moving forward?
It definitely it'll have to be more than just one pick, one sack, one pick, because obviously we didn't win the game. So therefore, a player like me that they drafted number 1 supposed to make plays like that, and so I need to continue making plays like that.
His voice is just amazing.
Why?
More than one pick.
Just deep in
Southern accent. More than one pick.
I know his family makes a mean bowl of grits.
Number 2 nice thing to say about the Jags this week from where I'm sitting right now is I don't remember the last time that we looked hopeless at one point of the game. Like, I know how this game ends. It doesn't usually end with us retaking the lead and then we eventually lost, but usually doesn't. Right. It doesn't involve us coming back.
Yeah, it doesn't
ever
involve us coming back and being competitive. We usually keep getting blown out and get some garbage time points.
Like, I watch other teams and other games. I'm like, oh wow, they came back from a deficit. I wish my team would do that. So we at least did that. We showed fight. We showed. We came out in the second half, looked like a different team, which is different. Not used to that.
My second thing. This is not the same Jaguars. Coming into this game was like, we just want to see improvement, obviously. And comparing week 1 this week to last week or last year, it looked similar first half, but completely different the second half. We were creating turnovers. We never get turnovers. Like, I never see a defensive lineman intercept the ball like that. So Trayvon Walker making an impact like that. Tyson Campbell, interception. He's another young player on our team that's making an impact in the game. The fact that it's the young players doing that gives me a little bit more hope going into the rest of the season, because these are the guys we need stepping up, making plays so that we can believe and have a roster to build around because those older guys are going to be out of this team in a little bit.
What do Campbell and Walker have in common? Maybe we should stick to
Georgia
Athens.
players. The drops, like to Zay Jones, the drops Etienne had, I think those are all things that can be cleaned up. Hopefully there's not drops every week. Like those, I feel like if Zay Jones caught it, he probably would have fell out of bounds, but just need a better throw there. But there was a lot of good things on the field that we couldn't say 90% of the games last season.
I feel like I can see it. Like before I'd be like, what's the point of playing this game? We don't have the pieces to compete. Now I feel like we finally have the pieces to compete.
Completely different team. A lot of people are saying same old Jaguars just because we lost. But the only thing that was same about week 1 this year, week 1 last year is the result. But how we got to the result, completely different than how we played against the Texans and Tyrod Taylor and all these other games from the Urban Meyer era. It's looking good. Let's see how it looks in week 2.
Yeah, it's hard to step back and look at the game from an objective point of view as someone who has not experienced the past 12 years of, you know, what we've been through. But if you do, you can say Doug Peterson's first game as coach, this team was the worst in the league last year, worst culture in the league last year, rookie quarterback given no chance last year. So really, feels like this is his first year in the league. It's hard to do that, though, when you're a Jags fan who's had loss after loss after loss. This is like our 15th straight loss to NFC opponent.
And it's our 18th straight road loss.
So when you account for all that, it's like, yeah, same Jags. Jack, as someone who's not a Jags fan, what's your take on the Jaguars right now?
You guys made some good points. I think what you may be overlooking, the Commanders comparatively to the rest of the league, not very good.
He's like, wait till y'all boys play the Chargers.
I didn't convince you. Like their front four is ridiculous, and their receivers are crazy.
Yeah,
their offensive line isn't great.
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion. Were the Jaguars last in turnovers forced last year?
I'd say it's a good chance.
I don't know if I'm looking at the right thing, but did they only have 9 turnovers forced last year?
It was very low.
They had 3 on Sunday. That's a third of last year, so that's pretty
They were negative 20
Yikes.
turnover differential.
Yeah. There are reasons to be optimistic, though, that you guys said. I wouldn't discredit.
Well, like I said, this was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I have one more.
Find good things about the Jags because there was a fuck ton of bad shit.
Right.
We could have made a list of 20 things that were bad.
Right.
The number 3 on my list in no particular order. Oh, I guess I just said that. I have hope that we can win every game, but I also have 5 red zone trips.
Hope.
So opportunities that we did not take advantage of that will be there in future games. Like I actually see players that are open, that are young quarterbacks just missing. So I feel like we have pieces and we have coaching that can get it done this year if we capitalize on them.
Red zone trips, that 5 is second in the league.
To the Chiefs?
Yeah, Chiefs 6, and then tied for second is the Jags.
Let's go!
The Jags, Bengals, Eagles, Colts, all tied at 5.
Damn.
That did something to me. Woo! 5 red zone trips. Let's go. That's a dub.
Which is revealing because we didn't convert many third downs. We're converting like firsts, seconds.
Yes.
Because one thing I wanted to see was a lot of third down conversions because we always get fucking stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But another positive for me, we're moving the ball in chunks.
Right.
Like we're giving the ball to ETN. He's getting 13 yards. We're getting a pass to Christian Kirk that goes for 49.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're getting more chunk plays this year, where last year you didn't see that at all.
Right.
So that was amazing. Like seeing all these deep balls Trevor's throwing. He missed a lot, but it gives me hope because our guys are getting open that maybe Trevor working with them a little more this season can get them the ball as the season goes on. So
right.
We'll see what happens because I need that 70-yard touchdown pass to happen to Christian Kirk this year.
I'm a big proponent of quarterbacks sitting for a year, and I know you guys are. It's hard. You guys are trying your best to be optimistic about Trevor Lawrence, and he has made mistakes, but
we need to be.
He was thrown into a horrible situation last year. Quarterbacks, you brought up Mahomes earlier, like he sat a year, his rookie year.
Oh yeah, he did. Behind Alex Smith, right?
So yeah, and Aaron Rodgers sat. Brady didn't start right away. I'm really comparing Lawrence to all these guys, but
thank you.
It's tough to get thrown into that situation and do what he did. Also, his receivers, they did fine. I guess, yesterday. I mean, the talent of his receiver group still isn't great. Like Christian Kirk in Arizona, I would say he's like a decent wide receiver too. A young quarterback could benefit from having more talent around him at the receiver position. Running back from the backfield, you guys talked about it. Like both running backs look great, which is very encouraging as well.
They did. James Robinson showed ETN how to score.
Yeah,
because both touchdowns went to him, and he caught the ball in the red zone that ETN dropped. So I was like, ETN, hope you learned something from your boy James Robinson, because you got your quarterback from college. We need you guys to be in sync again.